and it's on your call log. That's the call that you get. But I did not get a phone call, you know, mobile phone call, landline, nothing telling me that the shooter had shot the grandmother. It was a motorist that stopped me to let me know about that.
Because, you know, the DPS initially said that there was a 911 call, right?
Yes.
But there was no 911 call.
If you'll talk to the Leader News, they actually went and talked to the family, and they'll tell you, okay, well, since I don't know what you're trying to make out of this, trying to make me look like a bad guy. Well, then that's what I'm clarifying. I did not receive a phone call. I provided my phone log to the house. They went through the log, and there was nothing there.
So let me ask you this question about your officers that responded that day.
I'm not going to go into that part. Okay, I can't, and you've got to understand that. I know the frustration. I agree with you. I'm there too. But we're told, and I'm not going to tell you who's told us, but there's an investigation that's going on.
Is it the DA?
Okay. You're a smart man. You can do the math, okay? There's an investigation going on, and we've been told whatever you say also can be used again. It's a form, it's a statement. I've just given you another statement right here in front of all these cameras, okay? So, but on that day, I'll tell you, I did not receive a phone call. I was stopped by a motorist, okay? And that led me to that house. It led me about 35 minutes. I was away from the actual scene at Robb for about 35 minutes.
No, I know.
Okay, so I wish I could tell you guys though.
I know, but you can simply answer whether or not you think that response was adequate on that day, and you won't say.
Again,
you think your actions were okay that day?
No, I'm not saying anything.
You did.
Okay. Well, then if I said that, then I guess so.
Just said it to us upstairs.
Okay.
You don't think there was failures that day?
I'm not going to go into that part. Okay. I'm not. I've already told you. You wanted to know about the call. I did not receive a call.
Leader of the Texas Department of Public Safety has said there's failures that day.
Okay.
By everyone.
Okay.
You're not willing to say that.
Because of the investigation. Once everything
what does
is
that
said
have
and
to do with the investigation?
It has a lot to do with that investigation. Anytime that you have, again, an investigation, you've got to protect the integrity of that case. Okay, so you don't release whatever you have as far as information. Can you really think that you're going to get, if somebody is filed on, you think you're going to get a jury that's going to be unbiased with everything that's going on?
Right.
And that's the reason.
I really need you to respond to this question for me because of what Captain Beckford said. And he said that in his opinion, based on, he was talking to you, and he says that he was being provided information by you.
No.
You were not providing him information.
No.
You were not providing.
I'm not gonna go into that. Okay?
He said that you told him it was a barricaded situation and that it was someone armed with an AK-47.
I never said that.
You never said that to him?
No.
Okay. He said that it was his impression, based on his conversations with you, that you were the commander on scene.
Again, it's his impression, and that's on him. Okay, he's a captain, and if that's what he assumed, then it was an assumption. It was not validated.
Who was the commander on scene to you?
I've already said that in the past. I'm just, that's about all that I can tell you guys. Again, I understand the frustrations. I'm there as well.
Right, because it's the first time we're getting a chance to talk to you, right? You're the sheriff of this town, you're elected official. No one could do anything, technically. You're elected. You don't have to answer to anyone, right? Except to the people who elected you. And that's why we're doing this.
But you don't live here, so you didn't elect me here or anything. Okay.
But I work for the right. Instead, I'm a journalist. We're journalists.
I understand your
okay, and we're fighting. For me, we're all here for a reason. You think it's ratings because you think this is a story that's getting us ratings.
Well, it is.
Really?
Yes, it is.
And what are you basing that on?
Look,
that's not fair to the families, right? For you to say that.
No, it is fair. It is fair. Because as soon as something else happens,
sir, do you know how long I've been here? Do you know where I work for CNN?
I don't care where you work for.
I've been here for 6 months. I've not left.
If something else happens, you're going to follow that. Well, you will.
A lot has happened in 6 months, and I've not left.
Well, because this is giving y'all pretty good ratings as well. So anyway, that's my opinion, and you don't have to.
But you don't think it's about the failures of that day and how your officers and your deputies and the other officers.
You don't think it's about uncovering the truth of what happened that day?
Again, there's an investigation, and if y'all would allow the investigation to continue and let it work out its course, then you'll get all the answers that y'all deserve.
Why do you believe that?
Because that's the way in law enforcement things are done.
You trust the investigation.
Why shouldn't I?
You trust the DPS.
Why shouldn't I?
Well, they're saying that you were the commander on scene. The captain says that you were the commander on scene.
They can say whatever they want to. Again, once everything's investigated, then all the evidence should be laid out right there. Then you can find out what truly happened.
Well, you know what truly happened. You were there.
35 minutes after it started. Okay? So I wasn't there for the first 35 minutes, at least the first 35 minutes.
Still 37 more minutes that they were in that room, though. Or 42 more minutes.
And I did not know what was going on in there. Okay? So I did not know all that other stuff because I was attending and rendering first aid to a lady that had been shot in the head.
You arrive on scene.
Did you know there was anybody alive in the room?
No further comments.
You arrived on scene, sir.
No further comments, gentlemen.
Right, but you arrived on scene.
Yeah.
And you're a boss. I mean, you're the sheriff.
No further comments.
Why wouldn't you have ordered your officers inside that room? Your deputies. Why wouldn't you take a leadership role and say, we need to get inside that classroom?
The information that got to me when I got there was it was a barricaded individual. That's it. So when you have a barricaded individual, it changes the dynamics of everything. So that's what was relayed to me.
By who?
One of my own gentlemen, one of my officers,
deputies.
One of my deputies told me that.
So you didn't have that?
That's it.
But you didn't have the information beforehand? Excuse me.
Again, I was off 30-something minutes. I didn't know what was going on. When I do get there, that's what's being told to me. So.
At any point during that day, did you know that there were kids alive in that room and that it needed to be converted to an active shooter situation?
I can't come in anymore. I've already told you.
And you were never told that there were 911 calls. You never heard the radio.
The radio were not working in that area.
They were working, sir.
Okay.
You're wrong about that.
No, you didn't go inside the building to verify.
Some of them were working.
Sir, you can hear the radios in the hallway. You can. On the body cam footage, you could hear the radios in the hallway.
On the body cam, remember, not out here, because the signal did not transmit from inside.
So you were inside.
Outside. No, I'm telling you. You're telling me that you heard the radio on the body cams. Yes, because it's picking it up right there.
In the hallway, you can hear it.
You're listening to a body cam. So yes, the body cam is picking up radio. What should be there?
Isn't it picking it up off the officer's radio?
No, you're right. Okay.
The camera is here or here,
no.
And it's picking up what's on the radio.
They're listening to the conversations.
They're listening to the conversations.
Okay, well then you need to ask those gentlemen. You need to talk to them.
You.
Well, I've already told you.
You were in.
You told me the radios aren't working. They were working.
That's it, guys. Excuse me.
But what about the fact that so you were never in the hallway? So you were never in the hallway. I'm confused now. You said you weren't in there. So were you in there?